You are God on earth. You alone have the power to defeat the elites. How to reverse polarities and shift planet Earth to 5D. And why the elites are so afraid of the solar flash. Hello, this is Mahadev the Thunder Wizard. And if you're watching this, I need you to do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to go to rumble.com and I want you to subscribe to me there. Thunder Wizard, DOTCOM. On this channel on YouTube, I'm not allowed to apparently say anything of any real value without getting censored and having my channel get shut off. So if you really want to hear the truth about everything, go to rumble.com and look for Thunder Wizard, DOTCOM, and subscribe. I'm going to upload a version of this video on there, but I'm going to tell you the stuff I can't talk about here. But what I will do in this video is we will talk about the basics of this. So I'll give you the introduction and then I'll get into the nitty-gritty on Rumble. So you are God on earth. You alone have the power to defeat elites. When I was told this, it was overwhelming for me on a bunch of different levels. It was overwhelming just to understand, who I was on higher dimensional levels. In fact, when I was told this, it was so disturbing to me, I thought I was losing my mind. Because we live in a narcissistic three-dimensional world. And so what is really going on in 3D is that everything is upside down. And that includes understanding what it means to be a narcissist. So people throw this word around a lot. Narcissist, ego, don't be such a narcissist. He's very narcissistic. And we have this misunderstanding that narcissism is feeling superior to others. And that's actually not the case. A narcissist is not somebody who feels superior to others. A narcissist is somebody who feels inferior to everybody and overcompensates by acting as though they feel superior. They might even convince themselves that they feel superior. In fact, they put a lot of effort into convincing themselves that they feel superior to others. But the truth is that on an inner level, they feel so inferior, so unworthy, so invalid, they believe that they deserve to disappear and to die. They don't believe they have any worth. That's why they project that onto others. That's why they're sociopathic. They don't have any empathy for others because they don't believe they deserve any empathy on an unconscious level. That's why they objectify and abuse others because they themselves either were objectified and abused or feel that way. They feel worthy of that kind of interaction. And so they project the exact opposite. So when you are presented with the truth of who you really are, which is on higher dimensional levels, you are infinite deities, or you wouldn't have incarnated as a human. And it doesn't matter who you are. You can try to come up with the worst possible example you can. And I'm still going to tell you that the soul inside that person, no matter who they are or what they've done, is actually a very powerful deity. We see this in the Hindu religion, and I believe that's there because it's an actuality. So, for instance, the avatars of Vishnu. By the way, you might be an avatar of Vishnu, for all you know. You could be Rama. You could be Kalki. You could be, pick your Rama avatar. You could be Krishna. You could be that. So what ends up happening is that deities, just infinitely powerful deities, incarnate into three-dimensional beings. They forget who they are, and they become stuck in the belief that they're limited 3D nothing. But in fact, they're an infinitely powerful deity, and that is you. And we see this in the Vedic literature. For instance, many of the demons that, for instance, Narasimha vanquishes a demon and frees his devotee, the son of the demon. But if you look at it in other mythologies, that demon that he vanquishes is actually a guardian of another deity. And so they play this out, and that guardian ends up incarnating so that Vishnu has a purpose to rise up and save humanity. So when you understand this, when you understand how powerful you really are, and you start allowing that to come into your life, then nothing and nobody can control you. Nobody can control how you feel about yourself. Nobody can control the worth that you have. So while I'm telling this to you, I don't want you to go into the normal pseudo-religious, everything is love and light, and just start saying that in an attempt to virtue signal. I love that phrase, virtue signaling. Like Christians virtue signal all the time. Because they themselves, feel insecure, they will say something about, yes, isn't the Lord good? And this is the day the Lord has made. In other words, I'm a good person because look how religious I am. My value comes from being religious. I am signaling to you my virtue, my worth, through this nonsensical, superficial thing. So don't try and do that with this. When I tell you that you are a deity, you are infinite. And, don't just virtue signal and say, yes, I'm a deity. I really want you to meditate on that. I want you to meditate on the truth of that. And what would that mean? So before we go into the details, which I'm going to go deep, and then I'm going to put that into a video onto Rumble. But for this YouTube video, I'm going to get to the second point. I started with the first one, which is that, when you're presented with this, you might start thinking that you're a narcissist, because only a narcissist would think they're God, right? No, actually, that's not true. The narcissist doesn't think they're God. The narcissist actually thinks that they're a worthless piece of crap, but they're pretending, and they try to convince themselves they are, so that they can fool you, hoping that you will love them. But the truth is that it's flipped upside down. To truly be humble is to accept your greatness. Now, the narcissist is empty, even though they pretend to be a god. They are empty and full of self-devaluation, and they don't identify with anybody. They can't. This is the sociopathy. They have no empathy. They don't know what it's like, what it feels for somebody else to go through, the abuse that they put onto them. They don't know. So that is obviously not a god, because if you're a god, then you would be able to feel the feelings of everything and everybody. By the way, this has nothing to do with being an empath. Empaths believe that they feel everybody else's feelings, but the truth is they're projecting because they identify as victims. So unfortunately, please don't try and put that into an empath. A true empath, like a deity who feels for everybody, doesn't get all bent out of shape about trying to fix everybody. Because if you are a deity, you realize everybody else is a deity. And so you realize that they have the power to change their life. They have the power to make their life fulfilling and prosperous and healthy. It's not your job to do that. If they come to you and they ask for advice, that's different. You can give them advice. But a deity knows that, so you let other deities do their own thing. If they want to play around with being a victim and pretending that they're a super empath and all of the self, the reverse kind of weird narcissism that goes on with that, you just let them do that. But here's where my point is that a narcissist talks as though they're God, but they don't have any feeling for anybody else. But the true deity, which is your soul, is completely omnipotent, can change everything, and also identifies with all other beings. So instead of wanting to be controlling over everything, if you become aware you're a deity, you're not going to then want to control all of the people in your world. That's what a narcissist does. When you realize you become a deity, you all of a sudden realize how valuable and precious every single life is, because you are part of that life. And so you want to watch and enjoy everybody being themselves. So that's the difference, because things are backwards here. All right, so we're going to leave it at that. And then when you go to Rumble and you watch the second version of this on Rumble, I'm going to talk to you about how governments don't have any authority unless you give it to them. I'm going to talk about your infinite authority to create your manifested reality. I'm going to tell you the difference between the narcissistic false God of the third dimension and you as the true God of this earth, and what you do to realize that. And we'll take it from there, and then I'll give you some suggestions on what you can do to understand this more and more. So please go to rumble.com. I want everybody that's subscribed to my channel, I want every single one of you, and even if you're not subscribed, I want every single one of you to go to rumble.com, to the Thunder Wizard DOTCOM channel there. I want you to subscribe, and I want you to like the videos and let me know that you're there. Leave me a comment. I would like for you to read my book, Interdimensional Revolution, which you can find on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.com. Audible. And you can just go to michaelwilliamdenny, DENNEY.com to see all of my books. In that book, I tell you what you can do to bring down the elites. I can't talk about it here on YouTube, strangely enough, because if I do, they'll, who they're aligned with. I want you to go up here to thunderwizard.com. I want you to scroll around until you see the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. That is the most powerful energy system in the history of the planet, and it will give you the ability to allow your mind and your body to expand, to accept this reality that you are in fact God, not in a narcissistic way, but in the true way. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in the next video on Rumble. Go there right now.